Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. Let's see, what do we have to do today? We have one paladin or priest victory we need, and we need a mage victory, and we need to play 22 cost minions. And so there's some different things there. I think if I played the paladin, that would be my Murloc deck, so that would be helpful for the 2 cost minions, but nothing else. Let's start with the mage. Just mage all today, I suppose. We still have a horrible problem. I mean, and this is how you don't make good YouTube videos, is you immediately at the front say that you don't have anything to talk about. But I really don't have anything to talk about. It's just nothing. I'm watching The Magicians. Man, I don't even know what to say about The Magicians. It's a show I like in thought, in general concept. I like the idea of doing a more intense Harry Potter, which is kind of weird to say because even by the end of the Harry Potter movie series it was pretty intense. I think the Harry Potter series actually is hurt by the fact that it's just super focused on the movies are super focused on the main bad guy, Voldemort, and because of that, the last few movies in particular are just focused and centered on that. Whereas, and that's I guess exactly what The Magicians is doing right now. Except for the difference is they're in college and they're really drunk and I don't know if they're doing particularly drugs. Magic in a lot of ways is an allegory for drugs. They've clearly made that apparent. I think the way the book series of that is going, they're going to try to speed things up a little bit and move towards the second book more. And they may already be in the second book for all I know, but
job's done.
I think when all of that's said and at some point I think he's going to get out of the school setting. We're gonna get away from the teachers. Honestly, they haven't even bothered to show any of the teachers for quite a while now. No real reason, I suppose. So it was probably less than one episode that actually focused on them actually in the classroom, actually learning anything. 1 or 2 episodes at most, and now they're just focused on beating the beast, and it's all story, it's all plot, it's no side quest really at all. No monster of the week, no thing. I guess maybe that's part of the problem. That's where something like Constantine potentially could have been an interesting show, is if they had stayed a little bit more true to the monster of the week scheme. But even in Constantine there was an overwinding thing. That's what I like about Supernatural in particular. Supernatural's been going on forever. Every season it's just another ridiculous reason why the world's in danger. But it works good enough. And then they can squeeze in their 12 or 24 episodes a season. They squeeze in another 2 or 3 episodes that are just side quests, things that don't have any connection to the rest of the story.
Vapor
Conversation commencing.
Now I will say that Supernatural has been going on for too long. But I don't feel that. I just know it's the truth. And some of their earlier episodes could have been done. This is kind of the issue with Charmed too, is that if Charmed had gone as long as it did with the 3 original characters, and they didn't have this like issue where people were kind of appearing and disappearing from the plot and getting added to the cast, taken away from the cast, that would have definitely gone on too long and felt like it did. One day the time will come when we will just reshoot and remake TV series with all the good episodes and take out all the bad ones. And that would be cool. But right now it's just kind of an issue of they can sell best of DVDs, but nobody's gonna spend the money to reshoot something. Too many people would have a problem with it. That even something like the original Star Trek would be weird to try to do something like that. There's barely that many good episodes of the original Star Trek TV series anyways, so I think you could squeeze it into less than 12 episodes for the 3 seasons of the original Star Trek. Because a lot of the stories are repetitive, a lot of the stories just weren't good. And I think you probably could squeeze all Star Trek The Next Generation down to just the episodes with Q. He was in the first episode, he was in the last episode. It really was his story as much as it was the rest of the crew's. But certainly it was the rest of the crew's story also. Job done. I'm surprised they don't try stuff like that. Talking of TV shows, I'm watching Lucifer, saw the newest one. Lucifer has quickly decided, it seems, next episode after the one I just saw, he's gonna start doing good. So, quick change there. It's probably episode 7, I would say, at most, into the series. And he's already decided he's gonna do good for fun, basically, and that keeps the plot of the main story going, but
Jaina versus Jaina.
they've integrated the overarching plot very detailedly, I would say. So I don't think they can slow down on Lucifer. I don't know if you really can. I don't know if you can say, alright, next season we're going to have nothing happen whatsoever with Lucifer, and he's just gonna stay where he is. So it kind of puts you in the beauty that the season will just wrap up good and tell a complete story, and then they don't come back for season 2. Because I don't know how you can go further with it. I just do not have a clue. As I sneakily take a drink, I don't know if people can hear that or not. There's all kinds of noises I wonder if people can hear. And the headset mic I'm wearing, I think, kind of helps hide a lot of those things. That's kind of one of the problems if I was to go to a more professional mic, is as you get better mics, they pick up more things, unless you put more effort and expertise into not picking up the wrong things. So background noise will actually be increased with a better microphone instead of decreased.
Master of madness.
But yeah, what else? So, last recording we talked about Supergirl and Flash, Lucifer, Magicians. There was no Lost Girl because that series was over. I think I'm just desperately low on shows I actually watch. Really think I am. Let's just go kill this guy. Is there anything else I watch? Once Upon a Time, I'm watching that. It's dumb. What can I say? They've got a new Huntsman movie coming out. Like Huntsman Winter's War or something, I think is what it's called. And I liked from the trailers the previous movie in that series, which was Maleficent, and I guess from that same guesstimate, I probably would have liked from the trailers the Huntsman too. And so that really doesn't say anything because I didn't watch any of those movies, but it is definitely an interesting thought to try and tell what are effectively now stolen for Disney only stories and try to tell them in a mature and high fantasy, good CG type story that's somewhat new. It's not just a rehashing, a retelling of something someone else has already done. They tried to do that with like Beowulf.
We must cleanse the
many years ago, which Beowulf is not a super well-known series anyways, but
knowledge is power, and I know a lot.
Let's see, what do we want to do? Kill this guy? Let's go ahead and do it. So, isn't Beowulf the one that like murders his father and kills his mother? No, that's Oedipus. Yeah, Oedipus Rex. Yeah. Beowulf, I think, has to fight a bunch of monsters. These are things I was taught in English class and did not pay a lot of attention to. Well, I suppose I can do this.
Knowledge is power.
Why did I use that spell, though? That was dumb. I should have used the fire blast on him. That deserves an oops.
Whoops.
I smell blood.
I don't know if we can do fantasy right now. I think we have swung all of our attention away from fantasy. See, if I hadn't played that card, I could play it now and kill this guy. I think we swept all our attention away from fantasy stories into superhero stories, and thus there's just not enough in sci-fi, fiction, fantasy niches that tend to overlap pretty heavily. Of course, we know that nobody really wants the Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice because nobody's liking that. But let's see if I play this. Well, this guy in that. Okay. Why do I even have this card? Somebody must have given it to me. I don't know if you can really do fantasy that well anyways. There is definitely arguments can be made. Let's see. Deal 6 to the face. then 2 more to the face.
Job's done.
1 more to the face at least. As far as movies go, I would say I think there is probably a noticeable slowdown in movies getting made. People are less willing to experiment and risk in the movies they do make. Let's see. Kill that guy. And then let's see. Kill this one.
Job's done.
Yeah, I just don't think people are ambitious with movies. It's a shame too. You would think with the rise of modern computers and the cheaply available camcorders on every cell phone that's modernly made, that more and more ambitious filming would get made and get released in the movie theater system, but it just doesn't happen because they're so encrusted. So instead people make short videos because that's what works on YouTube, and put them on YouTube and get tiny amounts relatively of money. And it seems so strange. I've never thought about sitting in front of a 2-hour movie on YouTube. That experience just doesn't even make sense to my mind. There's pretty much nothing I watch that is entertaining for that long on YouTube. Nothing. Here I'm gonna lose again. I would prefer if I could make longer episodes myself, but right now I'm totally in the opposite direction. I've started to limit a lot of series just down to 30 minutes, even if I don't know. And then as I get halfway through recording a series and I realize, well, I've got like 10 recordings here and I'm nowhere near the end, so this is probably going to be a series where I release episodes every 30 minutes.
Light shall bring victory.
You asked for it.
That's my new experiment, and maybe that will work, maybe it won't. Ideally, I would be able to put up just like one long playthrough through the entire game. At least I think that's what I want to do. I could be wrong about that. Probably not one long playthrough through an entire game, unless it's a 3-hour game or something. It would probably be a lot less than that. The same is true for like Borderlands, so if I had started doing Borderlands when I started talking about it maybe a year ago at this point, I would have definitely thought about doing something along the lines of 1 hour or 2-hour episodes. It's a 200-hour game, so that kind of makes sense to do 2 hours and get 100 episodes out of it. But
I hope you like my invention.
now my thought process would push me somewhere closer to doing 45-minute to 30-minute episodes, but then I would be releasing 4 episodes of that same game like every day. That's too much to seriously consider. So for something like Borderlands, I think it is probably going to be hour-long episodes split into 2 episodes, but it's still going to be that instead of just 1 2-hour-long episode. Audience retention is still definitely a problem. Number of likes to dislike is still definitely a problem. If I get these dislikes, I think they're legitimate. I can't really argue the thought that it's some computer program or something doing it automatically, because they only do it on videos that get lots and lots of views. Nobody's going to every single one of my videos and thumbs downing them. And nobody, coincidentally, is going to every single one of my videos and thumbs upping them either. So, that's a shame. But it's asking so much too. If somebody's a super fan of me and they really want to see me succeed, there's so much that they would have to do that really help out. They've got to get on that everything playlist. They've got to watch every single video without fast forwarding. Rewinding and watching the video pieces of the video again is fine, but skipping ahead is less audience retention. They would have to thumbs up every single video. They would have to what else? They would have to write a comment for every single video that's unique and specialized to every single video. So you're talking over 2,000 videos, probably close to 2,000 hours of the time. And it's just, that's not even really that helpful. One person doing that is not that helpful. Their time would be much better spent if they, let's see, deal 5. If people, instead of doing that, let's see, how are we gonna do this? I guess this.
Give that minion a turn to get ready.
And then we'll just end the turn here, I guess. But people's time would much better spent just promoting, retweeting, sharing on their Facebook posts from my Facebook posts, so that those posts
We must cleanse the
all get
Sunwell.
the same shares and such. Like copying and pasting URLs is a little bit helpful in the Facebook, but really the better way to do it is to go to my Facebook page, follow and friend that, and then share all from those posts. That way there's one post that gets dozens and dozens of reshares. And I don't know if that really is going to even help that much. Kill that. Let's see, do we want to... Which one do we want to kill? I guess either way it doesn't matter, so we'll end the turn. Tumblr, still I have no idea how that works. Only reason I'm even on Tumblr is because I hope that some fans in the future might use that service, or I will gain some fans that use that service or that would want that. So it's just kind of legacy there. Same is true for Google Plus too. Google Plus is integrated into YouTube, so it's not an issue, but I'm not expecting to gain a huge following from Google Plus viewers, users. That could change. Maybe Reddit will finally fall apart and people will go to Google Plus, or Facebook will fall apart and people will go to Google Plus. It would be more Facebook that falls apart, not Reddit. That they're two completely different services. Let's go ahead and take this one out.
Into the breach!
Yeah, and maybe Google Plus will become this brand new place where everybody will start over fresh and start following new people like me and get me a lot of views, but it's not likely. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Yeah, honestly, if somebody wants to be a super fan, The simple answer, the easiest answer, is just donate money to me straight up. That would be the most impactful thing. Yes, I need more subscribers. Yes, I need more views. So sharing my videos in the long run is
What
the
you want?
potential best thing, because all those potentially gets me new followers. But in reality, as the income is still very low, a $5 donation to me is going to have more of an immediate impact than one person share. If they could do both, that would be great. But like $5 every month consistently would be great. But even the one time is going to be a pretty impactful thing. It would mean a decent amount of money. Probably could get me a cheap game on Steam. Donating games to me directly on Steam also works. I don't think Steam's really going that way though. I'm not sure that was ever is actually anything we can even do. I thought it was, but it may just not be. But with the Steam refunds and all of that, it's starting to get less and less likely that people would donate extra games they have if you can get extra copies. And now that some of the bundles are starting to take off the value of the games in the bundle, if you already have it, that's nice too. Yeah, I don't think I should use that card. I'm going to take these guys out. More communication would be nice. I don't know how much communication really I could handle though. I get someone commenting on the video, maybe 1 or 2 people in a week at most. And if it started to get really big, like dozens and dozens of comments, I don't know how many I could really respond to, how many I should respond to. Right now all the comments are directly kind of directed to me, so I've already started to kind of slide into, thanks for giving me this information, here's a thumbs up, but then not saying anything else back to them, just because I'm trying to record and I'm doing a terrible job at spending all of my time recording, and it would only be a worse job if I took the time to properly thank everyone who commented on one of my videos, and I don't want to do a canned response thing. I can say that there's been only, I think, like 3, maybe 5 people who have been blocked from commenting on my channel, and I can happily say that they were all blocked for being spammers. So, clear, present spammers that were trying to drive traffic to some other website, which is against YouTube's term. Both in the comments and making your own videos. So any of those videos is like 2-hour loops of one screen that says, see this full movie at fullmovies.com or something like that. I don't know if that's really a website. Those are all clearly spam and should be marked as driving people to other websites.
And I know a lot.
Or it's not allowed, and trying to drive people away because your videos are annoying. It's not allowed either. So, people putting up bad videos on YouTube,
Is someone injured?
not really acceptable either. But it's slightly more debatable. YouTube's kind of lenient there. if you're just making a bad videos after bad videos, because it's such a subjective thing.
I learned. So, here's where you're wrong. Well done.
Arguably, you could say the cut down versions of a Twitch stream might be bad versions decided, dedicated to pushing you to watch Twitch, except for the fact that the cut down versions of a Twitch stream are usually better versions, not worse, because they take out all the garbage and all the extras. And I think you can pretty well tell, if you think about it, that I would be terrible at Twitch streaming. Here I can't do even 2 hours and 15 minutes about. I do 3 45-minute recordings with lots of breaks in between. And I'm talking about how I don't have anything to really talk about. And most people on Twitch, they just don't have anything to talk about. That's why they've got music playing in the background that never shows up on YouTube. Because of that. It's because of all that stuff.
I'm out of cards.
He's totally out of cards. Let's go ahead and heal. Can we heal?
One shot, one kill.
If we heal one, that'd be nice if we could heal, but I don't have any healing spells. Interesting.
Move quickly.
I've got 12 damage I can do here. If I could get him to draw 4 cards, that would more than do enough. So if I could heal both of these guys, that would be great. But I can't. So instead I'll heal this, and then let's go ahead and get rid of that. This, and then in the turn, he's gonna take 1 damage. Maybe if he could be down to 3 instead of 4 if I'd hit him in the face. You're not gonna heal your guy here? Interesting. We see everything he's got. But he's got not enough. Right. Play that, silence him. Attack here.
I learned.
Spell damage plus 4. Yeah, spell damage
So,
plus 5.
here's where you're wrong.
Need it. There we go. Nice victory, nice victory. It's taken me quite a while to get these victories though. That's the first mage one I've done. Yeah, and I really don't have anything to talk about, and I really should wrap up this recording session here. And I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off.
I must protect the wild.
You asked for it.
Yeah, I don't know how I can pull that trick off at this point. There's a lot of things I need to ask my audience though. I'm sure there's somebody out there that has a good idea. Well, and I'm willing to hear anybody who thinks they have a good idea. I'm really willing to hear, even in the comments, somebody who thinks that they have an idea and it may be bad, or that they think it's bad, about how to differentiate my channel. Differentiate, of course, means I need to make my channel different from all the other video game critics and let's players and people who are putting up video game footage. What I can really do different. If people want more of the same, that's also a consideration, although I am slightly biased to really believe that that's the right thing. I don't think me trying to be somebody else is going to work that well. And I know I differentiate my channel with my own personality, but there's different ways I would like to do it. I of course have a kind of unique perspective that, as far as where I'm coming from and how I'm doing things, I guess I mostly started with the X-Play series on G4, and was watching that. That's not when I first started being severely involved with video games, but the only real criticism or review before X-Play was definitely just Nintendo Powers, and that's pretty biased.
2 heroes enter, 1 hero leaves.
So yeah, I was watching X-Play for a long time, practically up to the point where it was cancelled. I may have not seen the very last episode, and they did a lot of silly stuff and a lot of stupid stuff, and they definitely put their own spin and spice on it. And from X-Play, I don't even know how I did it, but I migrated to Giant Bomb. I don't think it was a full and even migration there. I think maybe there was a decent amount of time I went from X-Play to Kotaku, or amount of time where I didn't really look at anything and maybe every now and then saw Kotaku. Then eventually got into Giant Bomb, and I've been really into that, but it was more a growing side love, because throughout most of the Giant Bomb fandom, I was simply enjoying it as somebody who didn't even really play that much games. And a lot of it had to do with my job at the time and just how much free time I had, so it was really easy to fall out of the loop and get busy. Then I got on the Xbox 360 and started playing a lot of games, but wasn't reading a lot of reviews, because why would I? I was just a video game fan, and I would heavily go to GameStop and buy just cheap GameStop games and not buy anything because I knew it was quality, just buy it because it was cheap, which is certainly a terrible way to shop, and I certainly paid for it financially. And then eventually I got arthritis was going so badly in my fingers, which thankfully hasn't really kicked up too much as I cracked my knuckles. I've mostly been playing on the controller and probably not playing as much, which is a weird thing to say that as a video game reviewer, that I'm not playing as much as I used to, but it kind of is the case. More and more podcasts not video game related have been added to my life, and were getting added throughout that whole period. So that was one factor. I've become probably a lot more well-rounded than I was. I fell in and out of being an anime fan during that time too, so for a long period of time I would say my main focus was watching anime, and so that kind of replaced video games for a decent amount of time. But the main thing that replaced video games was working that job, which was ridiculous. It was, this job forced you into overtime, so you were working like 5, 6, 7 days a week sometimes. 5 days a week would be average, but for an average person. But yeah, there were days where you could it was like 2 days off in a 14-day period, but they didn't have to be back to back, so there easily could be, uh, they could give you like 2 days off the first two, and then you would have to work for like 12 days in a row, or they could give you 1 day off and then 12 days in a
You
row
asked
and
for
no
it.
day off. Yeah. And the way it worked too is that if you got 2 days off on the first 2 days, in theory you could actually work work 24 days in a row. I don't think that was actually allowed. They probably had some rules about it, but they really didn't care about following their own rules that much. Anyways, it was just ridiculous, in like 8-10 hour shifts. It was decent money, I can say that, but it just destroyed you as a human being. And what's the point of having money if you can't enjoy it? I mean, when you're literally not given the time to enjoy it, it kind of loses its value then, doesn't it?
Job done.
So yeah, that was just, that whole way of living was a nightmare, and something that if I'd been wiser, I would have quit that job earlier, much quicker than when it did end by itself.
Fire Lord.
The whole office got shut down
To work.
eventually, so everybody was out at that point. I was out a little bit earlier than that. I like to think I was holding it together. Let's see. Let's go ahead and kill that one if we can. Yeah, I'm about to lose. So early in the game and I'm about to lose.
Speak to me.
I'm still trying to expand into more podcasts. Right now there is a podcast I should be listening to, but instead I need to record and work. I'm really bad though, honestly, because I want to listen to the podcast as soon as they come out and download, and that's just like such the old-fashioned way of thinking. It's so wrong. I should play and record footage, and I know I should do this. I'm just having trouble getting myself to do it. But I should play and record footage first, have that as always #1 priority, and then after the footage is recorded and it's time for a break, pull out that podcast, listen to it for a while, and then go back after the break's over and continue recording some more. But it just doesn't work that way. What happens is I either listen to it immediately when it comes out, like I want to do right now, or I listen to it while I'm sleeping, which means I probably didn't hear most of what was said. And I am now in a weird situation. We're done with this recording, but I didn't get this done. Didn't get this done, and I didn't get this done. So, I have so many videos of this already. And it's just going to be like one more victory here, and 4 more characters that cost 2 or more here, and 1 more here. And I have nothing to talk about, sadly. So, this is going to be a first for me. I'm going to just end the recording here. I'll play the rest of this off screen. That would be 80, which would get us to 320 plus another 50, which is 370. So 9370 gold is what I'll be up to. And this is just how I'm gonna end it. First time for everything. Probably not the first time I should have done this. I probably should have ended it like that a few times. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording session. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.